On the eve of June 5, 1944, the night preceding D-Day, Winston Churchill's underground command center brimmed with his key commanders. One leader foresaw utter catastrophe in mere hours. Another envisioned triumph, yet at a staggering human cost. The third commander uttered words that left Churchill speechless. What he disclosed reshaped their entire view of the assault. His statements proved so astonishing that certain leaders dismissed them outright. But come dawn, everyone would grasp his accuracy. The Assembly Chamber, June 5, 1944. Deep into the evening, Winston Churchill occupied his subterranean strategy hub. His commanders encircled the lengthy wooden surface. Charts blanketed every section of the barriers. The following day marked D-Day, the largest assault ever conceived by humankind. More than 150,000 troops would charge Normandy's shores. Yet that night, uncertainty saturated the space. Churchill eyed his trio of most reliable commanders. He posed a straightforward inquiry. What do you genuinely anticipate for tomorrow? The initial commander rose gradually. His complexion appeared ashen. His forthcoming words halted all in their tracks. He anticipated ruin, absolute and devastating ruin. Inside the opening 6 hours, he reckoned thousands would perish. The operation might collapse prior to midday. Churchill's cigar paused en route to his lips. The area turned mute. Yet this represented merely the opening forecast. What would the next commander declare? The doubters alert. General Brooke served as Churchill's top advisor. He had witnessed combat intimately across many years. His fingers trembled faintly while he addressed them. "Prime Minister, the conditions are dreadful," he commenced. "The swells are excessive. Our vessels for landing will overturn." He gestured toward the climate summaries on the surface. Showers, gusts, turbulent waters. "The Germans possess 50,000 soldiers stationed along those coasts," Brooke proceeded. His tone remained composed, though somber. "They hold automatic weapons in fortified structures. They maintain cannons atop the bluffs." Churchill absorbed it without disruption. Brooke outlined the figures. "Plain and harsh. We will forfeit 10,000 troops during the initial surge, perhaps additional. The remains will drift ashore before we touch the grains." Fellow commanders adjusted restlessly in their positions. Several concurred with gestures. The probabilities seemed unattainable. "Should we falter tomorrow?" Brooke murmured gently. "Retrying becomes impossible. Not for seasons, possibly eternally." However, the subsequent commander held a wholly contrasting perspective. Might success remain feasible? The hopeful's toll. General Bernard Montgomery arose afterward. All referred to him as Monty. He exuded assurance. Some claimed excessive assurance. "Comrades, we shall prevail," Monty proclaimed. His speech rang distinct and robust. "By the stroke of midnight tomorrow, those shores will belong to us." Churchill inclined nearer. At last, a glimmer of optimism. Yet Monty had more to say. Nonetheless, the expense will prove immense. He revealed his personal computations, digits arranged in orderly columns. "We will suffer between 8,000 and 12,000 losses on the opening day solely." The space held its hush. By the close of the initial week, 30,000 victims, slain, injured, or unaccounted. Monty surveyed the gathering. "But we shall penetrate. The German barriers will shatter. We shall free France." Churchill voiced the evident concern. "Does that toll merit acceptance?" Monty responded instantly. "It stands as the sole route, sir. No alternative exists toward conquest." Two commanders had voiced opinions, two entirely opposing outlooks, but the third commander remained wordless thus far. What insight did he possess beyond the rest? The quiet spectator. General Dwight Eisenhower positioned himself at the distant edge of the surface. He hailed from America, overseeing all combined Allied units. All anticipated his input, yet Eisenhower merely gazed at the diagrams. Moments elapsed. The quietness grew awkward. Churchill eventually queried, "General Eisenhower, what is your evaluation?" Eisenhower lifted his gaze deliberately. His gaze reflected exhaustion. He had scarcely rested over recent weeks. "Prime Minister, each commander errs. The area burst into uproar. Outcries surged in objection. Heirs? How might both err? Eisenhower gestured for calm. Permit my clarification. He arose and approached the grandest diagram on the barrier. His digit followed Normandy's shoreline. This assault will not hinge on the shores, he stated serenely. It will not depend on the climate. It will not even rely on our losses within the first 6 hours. All drew nearer. What did he imply? This assault will pivot on an entirely separate element, something beyond our grasp, something the Germans remain unaware of presently, the concealed element. Eisenhower pivoted to confront the assembly. His demeanor appeared stern, nearly bleak. Comrades, D-Day will triumph or crumble due to a single factor: Hitler's choice. Bewildered expressions circulated the surface. Hitler's choice. Which choice? Eisenhower elaborated. Currently, Hitler commands vast armored groups positioned deeper inside. Panzer groups, the finest mechanized elements in the German forces. He indicated locations on the diagram distant from the shores. Should Hitler dispatch those armored units to the seaboard within the opening 12 hours, defeat awaits us. It boils down to that. Our troops will become pinned on the sands. They will face massacre. Churchill's complexion flushed. Then why proceed at all? Eisenhower grinned initially that evening. Because Hitler will withhold them, sir. The space detonated with inquiries. How could Eisenhower conceivably ascertain that? How might he feel such certainty? Because we have deceived Hitler across months, and he has swallowed each detail. This altered all. What deception had they fed Hitler? Operation Fortitude. Eisenhower detailed the most elaborate ruse in warfare annals. It bore the name Operation Fortitude. Across 6 months, we have persuaded Hitler that the authentic assault targets Calais, not Normandy. He displayed fabricated broadcasts, counterfeit spy summaries, invented troop clusters. We fabricated a complete illusory force in England's southeast. General Patton purportedly leads it. Hitler assumes we possess 1 million troops prepared to strike at Calais. Certain commanders knew whispers of this, yet scarce few comprehended the full extent. We constructed sham armored vehicles from elastic and timber, expandable aircraft, non-stop simulated transmissions daily. Churchill's gaze expanded, the magnitude astounded. German reconnaissance flights capture our sham gear weekly. They relay to Hitler. He perceives precisely our intent, yet more existed. An even grander aspect. We have also converted each German operative in England, every last one. They now serve us. They transmit Hitler bogus accounts, affirming our bogus assault schemes. But would Hitler truly accept it? Hitler's blunder. Eisenhower extracted German spy papers, seized summaries, interpreted communications. Hitler stands persuaded, utterly persuaded. He views Normandy merely as a feint. He holds that the genuine assault still approaches at Calais. This unlocked it all. Tomorrow's dawn, as our troops strike Normandy's sands, Hitler will pause. He will delay. He will retain his panzer groups reserved, since he avoids squandering them on a feint. Churchill started to comprehend. How extended his delay? No less than 24 hours, possibly 48. Conceivably further. Eisenhower's speech intensified. And that suffices for us. Should we endure the opening day and secure a base, those armored units lose relevance. Reinforcements will flood in. The calculations abruptly aligned. The operation escaped being a fatal endeavor. It proved methodical, exact, rooted in mindset and trickery. Thus, our triumph relies on Hitler's vanity, Churchill remarked, on his conviction of superior intellect. Precisely, sir, Eisenhower answered. We stake all on Hitler's conceit, and I trust we shall claim that stake. Did they prove correct? What truly unfolded? Daybreak arrived on June 6, 1944. D-Day commenced. The arrivals proved savage, matching forecasts. Troops fell by thousands on shores such as Omaha and Utah. The surges raged. The German safeguards lethal. Yet another occurrence transpired as well. Hitler slumbered until midday. His aides declined to rouse him. Upon receiving the update, he disbelieved.
This serves as a feint. He declared the authentic assault targets Calais. He withheld his panzer groups. He preserved them, anticipating an assault that never materialized. By Hitler's realization of his error, opportunity had vanished. The Allies secured their base. Eisenhower had nailed it. The operation triumphed, not via valor solely. It succeeded through trickery, through grasping your adversary's psyche, through compelling them to perceive your design. That evening, in Churchill's strategy hub, 3 commanders issued 3 forecasts: 1 perceived catastrophe, 1 perceived expensive triumph, 1 perceived reality. D-Day prevailed owing to all 3 viewpoints, but chiefly it prevailed because they duped Hitler so thoroughly that he undermined himself. The grandest assault ever recorded, secured by the grandest falsehood ever crafted. Churchill's D-Day declarations continue to motivate us now. His commander's Eve of D-Day remarks unveiled authentic guidance amid strain. These D-Day 1944 Armed Command Declarations illustrate how Eisenhower and Montgomery molded annals. Churchill on D-Day Command and Tactics instructed us that battles triumph in the psyche. Initially, Winston Churchill's World War II addresses prior to D-Day demonstrated that language holds weight. Yet Churchill's commander's inspiring declarations before assault prompt valor absent strategy, mere daring, tactics absent trickery, mere aspiration. United, they transform the globe.